Project Sapient is a podcast meant to engage our brothers and sisters in the law enforcement and military communities in conversations that we all know we need to have. All opinions you'll hear are our own, are protected by our First Amendment of the United States Constitution, and in no way reflect or are meant to reflect the opinion of any specific agency, officer, or service member. Some opinions may be controversial. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Ayman.
Hi, Pete.
How are you, sir?
Let's get into the supporters before I get into
He's
what
getting fucking angry
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Right. Well, I want to say thanks to our supporters. HavokJournal.com. I'm sorry, don't hit me. JimJunkies.com. Don't hit me. VectorShields.com. WellnessForWarriors.live. LiveBoston617.org. Eagle Eye Firearms. MA.com. ODKit.com. GunTrack.app and Houle.Law.com. We thank you. Thank you, everybody, for making us the #1 law enforcement and military podcast on the planet.
Okay.
Talk to me.
Before we get into my latest article.
He's very angry.
Because this article is full of anger anyways. But, so I administered a PT test today at my respective PD.
Yeah.
And you had your PT stud and all that and all good. One of them, actually two of them, really got me pissed off. No heart.
Like out of shape, no heart, or just no heart? Don't give a fuck.
Both.
Fuck.
Well, one of them, actually, I stand corrected. One of them is out of shape and no heart, and the other one is in shape but no heart.
So just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
don't give
pretty
a fuck.
much. Pretty much. And here's the thing, like, what drove me nuts is one of them started the run, dropped out after 20 feet, and started puking everywhere. Like, oh my God.
Let me ask you, did he want to get up and try and continue, or did he want to get like, a binky in his mouth and fucking a slap on the butt?
Oh, he got up, finished his lap, but then ran right to me. I was yelling to him. I'm like, hey, you all right? He's like, I feel dizzy. I'm like, all right, you're out.
Bye-bye.
Okay, give him a DQ on that. So
Does he get to make up for it?
yeah, he's got another bite, but he
Better
was
fucking prepare.
He's well, that's the thing. We had so I'll talk about the other kid who decided first, very weak-bodied, needs a lot of work. And I go back to the whole, listen, if you have in your mind you want to be a cop or you want to join the military or whatever, fucking work out.
Right.
If that's
do something.
If that's your career aspirations, fucking be in shape,
Yeah.
be in decent shape. We're not saying we don't.
And look, in today's world, right, with the access of information, you can easily look up what they're requiring of you in all these tests and all this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
There's even 10 years ago, you couldn't. Now you can look up everything.
When I got on the job, there wasn't really any information about what's going on with the computer.
Just keep going.
Okay. So so even 15, 16 years ago when I started the academy, there was really no information about what the PT test, the academy PT test is going to be, and you were expected to be in shape. And because I remember my first PT run at the academy, the couple individuals fell out, and the drill instructors were pissed, and they're like, "You're supposed to be in shape when you fucking come in here,"
right?
So anyways, so this kid started his run, and he would walk it, run a little, walk, run a little, walk, run. I'm like, dude, so, after the PT test, while they were stretching out, all that, I was like, hey, you two, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And
you got like a broken leg you don't want to tell us about?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
And so I go and I talk to him, and I'm telling him, so I ask him, I said, what's your nutrition like at home? What's this? What's that? One of them says to me, well, I got 3 kids, so I eat what? I'm like, I was like, come on. Nah. Sorry. I told him once or twice a week, with my house, we do pizza and burger night. I'll eat whatever my kids are having, and that's it.
Yeah, but you know what? If I know I ate like shit, I'll make up for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We just want to let everybody know too that this week's episode isn't going to be on video.
No.
So we totally forgot to say that in the beginning. It's not going to be on video. We actually had some technical difficulties as we're doing it. So
Oh, all right.
that's all right.
Yeah,
So
it's all good. But anyways, so talk to him about that, and I'm just like I was almost losing my mind. So we get back to the PD, report to the to my chain of command about it and all that, the higher ups, and they weren't too pleased. So I ended up having to take the one who fell out and start throwing up everywhere. We had a sit down talk with him and said, you know what, this job is all about preparation. Clearly,
Yes.
you weren't being prepared. You weren't prepared.
Yep.
You know, like when you show up to work, you're expected to have your uniform ready, everything ready to go, and you're out the door and you're ready to work. He said this shows lack of preparation. You know, he said,
100%.
And I kind of went beyond. He asked me my chain of command. They asked me, hey, do you have anything to add, Ayman? I said, yeah. Said right now, when you fell out like that after 20 feet running, you just fell out of a foot chase that I was involved in.
And now I'm dead.
Now I'm dead. Now I'm alone.
Yep.
About to fight whoever, because you fell out. You couldn't keep up.
And what was his reaction to it?
Oh, I think the light bulb clicked at that point because he realized that, oh shit, that's true. And that's what I told all of them. Like, hey, you got to take this like to the extreme, And I told them, I was like, listen, if you're fucking walking on this run, you're wrong. It's a fucking mile and a half.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's not a 10-mile run.
No. So anyway, so that long and short with this, it's just like the caliber that we get at times now, where it's like, what the fuck, you reap what you sow type of shit, and it's like with all.
And you're seeing so much more of it, right?
Oh my god, yeah.
It's a little ridiculous.
Our list for those who can be police officers or who signed up to be police officers, 8 pages long, but we only have 10 people that will sign up. It's fucking crazy, Anyways, article.
Let's get to the article. You sent me this earlier. Haven't read it.
Yep.
I think we get this.
Yes.
I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I'm reasonable.
Yes.
So at first glance, I haven't read anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to say to you, you're wrong. Because I am a conservative. I am more reasonable than liberals. And I think liberalism is a mental disorder. But that's just me.
All right.
Now,
there you go.
it's kind of like that meme, change my mind.
Yeah.
You know that meme?
Yeah.
So what do we got? Let's
go. So I wrote this July 22, 2021 is when it got published, actually. So this is very recent.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, there will be like the second, third week in August.
Yeah.
All right. So start out by saying, and here's the thing. These days in America, if you have an opinion, no matter what that opinion is, you are quickly labeled and ridiculed. It could be the most well thought out answer to a question or the debate or all that, whatever. There's so much noise out there. It has been drowned out by the most important trait out there, which is, again, that trait of critical thinking, of being smart,
reasonable.
Being reasonable, exactly. And that's why I said I call it reasonable. It has so many names, but I'll just go with reasonable. There's so many social media platforms out there that lump you into a group. You will be labeled as a liberal or a conservative. I have a problem with that, as most of you should. And we actually talked about your Facebook page where it called you Nazi Party because it's law enforcement products and whatnot.
But here's the thing. It took not just me. It took millions of people.
Millions.
And it put them in that category automatically because the AI did it.
Yep.
And then, at one point, that social media platform had lost control. People don't know it, but it was about to shut down.
Yeah, well.
Because the AI was taking control of it.
Skynet became self-aware.
Yeah, dude, Skynet.
That's pretty much what I picture.
But now it's just, chicks with selfies and stuff.
I know. So a couple of years ago, I recall Facebook labeling political affiliation based on someone's online activity.
Yep.
So I remember it was a post that I saw, and it says how to check your party affiliation or something. So I went into it to do it. Which is interesting. It's not there anymore. I tried to do it just so I can get a screenshot of it and show people. But they took out that feature, which I found very interesting. So, with all my online searches and whatever else, I went into it, and it labeled me as an ultra conservative.
Yep.
And I laughed. I was like, really? Now, it's not like, I was quote unquote triggered or offended or ultra like.
It's just weird.
It's just weird. I'm like, what? Really? Oh, okay. I laughed. And my online activity involves a lot of research and writing, which because of Havok Journal, music, various other subjects.
So you were hitting all the criteria for an ultra conservative.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I read news posts and I read a wide spectrum of news, whether it's far left, far right, in the middle, like whatever.
You're reading it all.
I'm reading it all, it's kind of like, you remember, again, back in the day with newspapers, I used to read the Globe, the Herald,
Everything.
and the Patriot Ledger. I remember those are the three I used to read.
Yep.
And it didn't matter. I just read, and when I laughed at that, I realized that, what? It's because I'm a cop, and I'm a combat veteran. I'm an ultra conservative. In addition, I read, Supreme Court rulings, various government entities. I'd go on their websites, read stuff, because I like to be well informed. So to me, being well informed makes you an ultra conservative. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So again, it's not about conservative or liberal. Like I just found it funny that I automatically got lumped.
Absolutely.
Without really, again, without my knowledge. And like you said, the AI becoming self-aware.
So now, just so everybody knows, there's a lot of like security updates that have happened. And a lot of people have probably realized this with Apple. Apple's not letting a lot of apps and websites now track you.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're not tracking you.
Yeah.
It's just making it a little harder.
Yes.
Right. So all of these behavior points that you're still giving out, if you think that you're secure now, you're not. You need to get on things like DuckDuckGo instead of Google.
Yep.
You need to get on things like Signal instead of iMessage.
Yep.
And you need to, really go through your privacy settings, because a lot of this shit is being sold and it's lumping you in there, and you're going to be targeted by a lot of advertising.
Yep. And, so yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You're being followed. You're being 100%. Listened to. You're being everything. I mean, here's the thing. Like, we'll do search warrants on shit because it's out there.
Yeah.
It's public information. I can go on any Facebook site and look up your public posts, and there, I got you.
That's the questioning, and not to get off on a tangent, but that's the thing where it's when platforms like Facebook were silencing people like the President of the United States. Excuse me. People would say, oh, it's a private platform. They can do whatever they want. I get a feeling that this is going to be a constitutional question. It's going to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Because all the lawmakers are starting to call it a public forum.
Yeah.
And now if it's a public forum, it's no longer a private entity.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, even though it's funded by a private entity, if you're allowing it to be used as a public forum, it's got to be public for everybody.
Well, like, let's make it even bigger, right? Public transportation, quasi-private / public, right?
Yeah.
It's a private entity. They have boards and all that shit, manager boards and all that. But at the same time, they serve the public.
It's like the Mass Turnpike Authority.
Exactly. Yep. So they still have to play by the Constitution,
exactly.
US Constitution, because they provide a service to the public.
Yep. And
even their police department, whichever entity, whether it's the transit police, the Massport police, whatever it might be, the Port Authority, like whatever it might be, they still have to follow the U.S. Constitution
Absolutely.
And the respective laws of their states. So is Facebook becoming that?
It is. I think it is.
Okay.
And I think Facebook is also circumventing a lot of the Fourth Amendment, because, I mean, the Fourth Amendment is basically on government agents. It's not on private entities.
No, it's not on.
And that's how government agencies circumvent the whole Fourth.
Yeah.
They basically buy information from private entities, and you don't need a warrant, right?
No.
Expectation of privacy.
Yep.
Right? So now that these things are getting, 10 years ago, this was a conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's not anymore.
No.
So now that this stuff's getting out there in public, I'm going to see, I would say within the next 5 years, there's going to be some major changes in social media platforms.
You know what? I could see that the Fourth Amendment will be extended to private sector.
I think so too.
Because of what's been going on.
I think so too. And because of, like you're mentioning in the article here, your behavior is making you an ultra conservative.
Yeah.
What else is it labeling you as? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know. And again, that's the thing where it surprised me. Where I'm like, that's the exact question I had. I was like, all right, so why? And the other thing I noticed, far right news started coming up on my feed
a lot more,
and I start to notice that. And I'm the type, again, I'm like you, I'm the type, I read everything.
Yep.
So when I start noticing, I'm like, why am I only seeing Breitbart? Or why am I only seeing the Daily Caller or some of these far right news? And I'm just like, because I don't really read those. Again, I tend to be sort of right, sort of left. Just read, just again, be reasonable. I'm not into the whole, let me go as far left as possible. That way I know that the Star Trek Enterprise is really flying in space right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not into any of that bullshit because you know what? That's not well thought out and that's not reasonable. So and here's the thing. Again, I ask you, the listeners, does being well informed make me be equated to being a radical? Like being crazy, this tinfoil wearing type guy.
No.
So and that's why I asked both sides. How about instead of labeling ultra conservative or ultra liberal or whatever, and if you are reasonable, you're just reasonable.
Exactly.
And that's it. I don't mind the debates. I don't mind any of that stuff because you know what? That helps.
It gets you going. Because you're a reasonable person.
Exactly.
But how many times have you gotten into a debate and it's turned into an argument because the other person's like, you could see it. You could see their pupils fucking dilating. You can see their veins fucking popping. Yeah. You're like, dude, calm down. We're having a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's driving people fucking mad.
You know what drives people even madder when they're like thing. And then you just sit there and you're like, you mad, bro? Oh my God. That really gets them going.
Hold on. Are you mad?
Yeah, exactly. So hot button topics have plagued our news feeds, right? Mm-hmm. And as a result, the dopamine dump of confirmation bias has become exponentially worse. And for those who don't know what confirmation bias is, very layman, simple terms is you read news, articles, research, whatever that will only
serve your bias.
And that's it. And that's all you'll read. You won't read both sides, but you'll read what will serve your bias. Mm-hmm. That's confirmation bias because it says, again, I confirmed my bias. Confirmation bias, right? So a meme with false information becomes the talk of the internet, and most people just fall right into it. And it's like, what the hell? You're like, are you serious? A meme is causing people to lose their fucking minds, even though we all know that shit's bullshit. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's some memes that come out where I just like look up like, hey, again.
It could be true, could be not.
Yeah. Again, I'm a reasonable person. Right. I like to look it up because when, memes throw statistics up in the air like fucking darts on a board, I'm like, all right, let's take a look. Nope, it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'll just chime in and be like, hey, dumbasses. It's fucking fake.
Yeah, and then you'll chime in, you'll tell them that it's fake, and then you'll somehow comment will get deleted.
Yes.
Or blocked or something.
Yeah, exactly.
What's this YouTube video you have here?
All right, so let me get into that before a quick background on this YouTube video. Mm-hmm. So I found this video. Aziz Ansari, he's a comedian. If you don't know who he is, he's in that show Parks and Recs. He had a stint in Scrubs, a comedian. He was talking about the media during a show. He asked the audience their thoughts on a customer who complained to Pizza Hut management after finding pepperoni arranged as a swastika on his pizza.
Okay.
Aziz tells the audience to clap if they saw the picture. Some did. Aziz then says to the audience to clap if they thought this person was just looking for attention. Again, some people clapped. He went as far as asking someone in the audience, like literally pointed at this audience person.
I know where you're going with this.
If he had seen the picture and the audience said, yep, I did. He also said that he thought the customer was looking for attention. Aziz basically said that he just made that up. It never happened.
I knew exactly where you were going with it.
And it was so funny because people started laughing because and in his thing he's like that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Just people are stupid.
The power of persuasion these days especially with social media, but the power of persuasion is far beyond anything I've ever seen.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, the point he wanted to make in the show is how gullible people are and believe anything they read or even think that they read or saw. People are no longer reasonable. They'll just go with whatever hot button topic there is. Just like LeBron James, when that shooting happened, completely 100% justified. Unfortunately, it's a young kid, 16 years old, but in the camera view, witness statements, all that shit, that girl was taking a knife, and you could clearly see it. Yep. She's about to stab the other girl.
And he did a nutty over it.
Yeah.
He did a nutty over it, and people got behind him. And
what did he say?
Fucking insane.
You're next.
You're next.
Yeah. Hashtag
like
something, whatever. Exactly. So somebody like that, right? And it goes into also the whole celebrity, right? If you're a celebrity, what you say is gospel. What you say is true. I
don't understand it, Ayman. I never did. No, I never understood the whole celebrity thing. I never understood the whole politician thing. Like, I grew up, I don't want to say as like a small kid knowing the Constitution, but I grew up knowing what this is all about.
I got funny. It just jogged my memory.
Go for it.
About politicians.
Yeah.
Recently in our city, we had, with the elderly, we had I think I told you, I was like ice cream social.
Oh, yeah.
And, whatever. It's a fun thing, a little bit out of the job. That way I get out of the heat and be somewhere cool and all that.
Yeah.
And, I'd love serving ice cream.
Serve your diabetes.
Yeah, exactly. And one cool part is when the people who ran this thing said, "Oh, please welcome police officers for coming here," and people were, clapping. I mean, it was 100 people, maybe more, all elderly. A couple politicians stroll in later on, and I bet you know where I'm going with this.
No.
Okay. They did their walk around for like 2 minutes, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Took a couple pictures and see you later. Yeah. They left.
Unfucking-believable.
Now they're all over the news. Now they're all yeah.
No, go on.
Pete just pointed something out to me. So we'll take care of that.
Yeah.
All right. So they showed up and they did their 2 minutes of fame walk with pictures, whatever. And I know they're going to be on the news later. Yeah. They're going to be like, "Oh, we came here to help serve, blah, 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 blah." Bullshit.
It's all persuasion, man.
Yeah.
It's all it is. It's all sales. Like, my background in sales, right?
Yeah.
It's all persuasion. That's all the media is doing. Yeah. That's all the politicians are doing. That's all fucking everybody is doing. Like, we do this show for fucking free.
Exactly. Here's the thing. As a cop, both of us, we do a lot of research on a lot of different things. I like to be well informed.
Yeah.
I have read about different hate groups, communist groups, Black Lives Matter, ISIS, different books about different ideologies. If you search my history, it's gonna be full of things like that. And
you're confusing the shit out of Skynet.
I know, I am, because they're like, "We don't know what he is." And by the way, if I ever die, make sure you delete my history.
Oh, God. Don't delete mine. Put it up everywhere. No shame in this game.
Yeah, right. So
Pornhub.
So does reading, research, any of these things make me a liberal or conservative? No, it helps me understand the why, right? And I mean, that's the most important question for us as humans. Even humans, our curiosity on the why. Why does something happen? Why, when I flip the switch, the light bulb goes on? When Thomas Edison created the light bulb.
Tesla, but anyway.
Whatever.
Tesla.
On. All right, fine. He created Tesla.
No, Tesla created it. Go on. We'll explain later. Go on.
All right, before we get... whatever, all right?
The why.
Wright brothers. They wanted to figure out flying.
They didn't, but anyway, go on.
Listen, stop with this shit. Trying to say something here. All right?
Go on.
Speaking of being well informed. So, and that's what we've lost today, though. The ability to ask why. People no longer listen. They just talk over each other. Yep. You can see it in normal conversations, where versus the back and forth, you hear the full explanation, and then the other person absorbs, processes and response.
Counters, yeah.
Not anymore. Now it's, oh, well, I think, and then the other guy's like, well, I think. I'm like, dude, you didn't even listen to what I was about to say, know? And then there are times as cops where people start to talk over us, and we just, I just stop. I'm like, okay. And then once they're done, I'm like, all right, are you done now?
Yeah, and there's no point in trying to, because you know how they are.
Yeah. I was like, are you done now? Can I finally speak? Do I have your permission? I'm, it's like, Jesus Christ. So recently I listened to DC lawmakers question Joint Chiefs Chair General Mark Miley regarding a woke military, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. And I believe he said it best. And this is his quote. I want to understand white rage, and I'm white. What is it that cost thousands of people to assault this building, which being U.S. Capitol, and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America? I've read Mao Zedong. I've read Karl Marx. I've read Lenin. That does not make me a communist. So what is wrong with understanding and having some situational understanding about the country for which we are here to defend? To me, that made sense.
I'm torn on it.
Why?
Because I don't think he really believes that the white rage and all this shit that he's talking about is real. I'll be honest with you. Elephant in the room. I think he's just pandering.
Thing is, though, whether he's pandering, I just like what he said about reading different ideologies.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
The whole white rage, whatever, he might be just talking just to talk.
I think he's talking to just talk on that.
But when he started saying about these different books and these different people that he's read, I agree. It doesn't make him communist.
Fully agree.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Is that wrong to understand?
No.
And this whole thing, like tearing U.S. history apart, like, the bad stuff back in the day and all that. Let's take down statues. Let's burn this, burn that. You know where that happened also, where people are trying to destroy their own history.
Yeah.
Parts of the world that are full of dictators and lots of genocide.
Lots of genocide. We saw it in the Communist Manifesto, that part of the episode when we did the U.S. Infiltration.
Yep.
It's all part of it.
You know what? Like me as minority, and I got again African blood in me, and Middle East and the Mediterranean. Like, to me, those statues represent history. Absolutely. And that's fine.
Yeah.
To me, like, you're not honoring a slave owner, really. The statue's up there because that was part of a history.
Well, that's the thing people don't understand, man, is that how history has changed, right? How many of our founding fathers were slave owners?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Does it make them evil? That's what was going on then.
Yeah.
And slavery has been going on since then.
It's still going on in other parts of the world.
So, yeah, was it great that we got rid of it? Yeah. And again, the misconception that the Civil War was about slavery.
Oh, that's a misconception.
The biggest misconception ever.
Yeah.
The only reason that Lincoln freed the slaves was to piss off the South.
Yeah.
It wasn't because he cared. I'm not dogging the president, but it wasn't because he was like, my mission is to free the slaves. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a business thing.
Yeah.
And then he found an opportunity and he did something very good with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not dogging that.
No.
But that's what people need to understand. If you do a little bit of research on these things.
They don't do research.
They just want to hear it.
Exactly.
They just want that comfort of the answer's already there for them. Yep. This is what you believe.
Yep. Exactly. And even past few years, right? Let's fast forward. Past few years when President Trump was in office, I kept getting asked, are you a Trump supporter? Are you a Biden supporter? My answer has always been the same. I'm for whomever does right by the American people, veterans, and our nation. That's it. I could give a flying fuck whether they're Republican, Democrat, whatever. I don't care.
I'm completely different.
Well, you're different.
I'm completely different. But, we're not going to sit here and fucking yell about it, right?
No, I'm not going to hate you.
Like when I was asked, are you a Trump supporter? I was like, yeah. And then I'd take off one shirt and there'd be a Trump shirt underneath it.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
And if I lost friends because of it, I'll put it this way. If you were a Biden supporter and I asked you and you said I'm a Biden supporter and you took your t-shirt off and you had a Biden fucking tattoo on, I wouldn't be like, I'm not talking to him again. but
again,
you know what I'm saying?
But again, you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's the whole part of being friends.
Yeah, like I don't really care. So I mean, part of the reason why I answered it that way is because I hated the whole labeling, like Trump supporter. I hated it. I really did, and I got so sick of it.
It was creating division.
It was, and my thing is, when I started answering it like this, it forced people to back off a second.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, now I can't go back to argue with this man. Because who's going to argue who does right by veterans and the nation?
Yeah, you talk about it in your next fucking in your next paragraph there about your friends.
Yeah, I have a very close friend of mine, brother in arms. We discuss various issues. If we don't agree, I don't cut them off and not be friends anymore just because they have a different point of view. Doesn't mean we can't be friends. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, exactly. And if you have an argument or point of view, make sure that you have the facts right.
I don't get it, man.
I mean, isn't that what critical thinking is, right?
It is. And it's just, I get annoyed with this stuff. Why? Because we're in 2021, right? And we think, not to get all philosophical, but we think that we're really smart people.
We're idiots.
But think about it, right? Like we think we're this really advanced fucking society and we're not.
No, we're not.
Break it down fundamentally. All we are is fucking cavemen that drive around on streets paved of stone.
Yeah.
And shiny shit.
Yep.
And we can record our voices and put pictures up on a screen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I now, 100% agree.
Granted, I know there's been a lot of technological advancement.
Yep.
Right? I know things are quality of life has increased.
Yep.
But foundationally, we are the same. We have not evolved.
Here's the thing, like you look back 30, 40, 50 years ago, humanity, even mostly, and especially Americans, were thirsty for knowledge.
Right, yeah.
Let's get to the moon.
Yes.
Let's do this. Let's do that. And that was all run by government agencies like NASA.
Right.
You know, let's do deep water exploration because we haven't mapped out our oceans.
We know more about the moon than we do about the bottom of the ocean.
Exactly. I was watching this documentary, actually. I just started watching. It's actually really cool. It's called 100 Foot Wave. It's about that famous surfer who went to Portugal, to Nazaré. I think Navarre, it's called. They have the world's largest waves over there. And to him, he was chasing that wave, but it was a passion of his. He was passionate about it. He said in his interview, he said that it got to the point where he barely had money to buy the plane ticket to go back home.
No shit.
He would do odd jobs just to get enough money, buy that plane ticket to go. But here's the thing, that's drive.
Thirst.
To me. That's thirst. You're chasing that rush. You're chasing that goal. Like, to me, that was like pure determination.
It's determination, and it's also like wanting to understand what his passion is too.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I can't wait for the next episode of it, because it's like continuing about his story, and he's the pioneer for these things.
Right.
It's an HBO series. Yeah, there it is. It's called 100 Foot Wave, and it is about Garrett McNamara.
Okay.
If you've never heard of him,
I never heard of him.
He is basically the Tony Hawk for surfing.
I got you. Okay.
The very, very famous surfer.
Yep.
He's been surfing forever, and he was one of the first ones to conquer, or is the first one to conquer, the 100-foot wave. And it pushed the sport to even greater heights.
Right.
His people basically were the ones that came up with the jet ski, where the surfer hangs on to the jet ski rope.
Really?
And they start taking them on this big, I mean, look how big these waves are. Here it is.
Jesus Christ.
You know, I mean, dude, they are monsters. You're talking mountains.
Wow.
You know, these waves. And this is what this guy was chasing.
That's unbelievable.
But again, the American thirst.
Yep.
Right? The need to explore, the need to push the very limits.
Find out why, to all of that. And
it kind of like, great on Elon Musk getting the rockets up there. What, you know, that's awesome. But to me, that's a private citizen who did it versus the American people doing it.
In a way, I kind of look at guys like Musk and Bezos, who I don't like Bezos personally.
No, I don't.
But I love his story.
Mm-hmm.
I love his story. I love his work ethic, and I love what he just did too. He just did the same thing.
He did the same thing, but he made his rocket look like a penis.
Yeah, they all kind of do that. Why do I keep staring at them?
Hey, I love the memes that came out.
Do you know a lot? I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the SpaceX, do you know what the rockets were called?
What?
Like, they were all named after a swear.
Oh, really?
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Really?
No. Oh,
Falcon
awesome.
rockets?
Really?
Big Falcon? It was meant as big fucking rocket. And he legit told people, he was like, I want to name it a fucking rocket. And they're like, we can't. And he was like, all right, then name it Falcon, but everybody's going to know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But think about that, right? This guy made billions.
Yeah.
All of these guys, Richard Branson, fucking Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they're looking to expand. Yes, they can do more good on the planet with that money.
Oh, yeah.
But you're looking so far ahead. You're looking to take humanity into that next level.
And that's the thing. The people now, like the people, are no longer doing that.
Exactly.
That's the difference between back 50 years ago when we were chasing for the moon. The people wanted it too.
Well, that gave these guys the drive.
Well, exactly. It's as if the people now said, here, government, we don't care anymore.
Right.
Or here, private business owner, you do it for us because we don't want to do it anymore.
Well,
or,
that's the thing. And
there's no more drive.
One of the reasons that everybody wants to get to the moon is for an element called Helium-3.
Mm-hmm.
And Helium-3 is so abundant on the moon, and it's one of those things. It's like a super mineral, basically. I'm a big science geek.
I know you are.
Like, a ton of it will power the world for fucking 20 years type of thing.
Yeah.
All these people are going to try and get to it.
Oh, yeah.
All these countries, other countries are trying to get to it.
You know what it's going to create? A new race. Race.
Absolutely. But at the same time, what it's doing is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, Ayman, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Watch the show, The Expanse. The Expanse on Amazon Prime.
I did see a trailer for that. That's actually on my list of shows.
It's an amazing show.
Yeah.
It shows like a couple of 100 years in the future, how society has now evolved.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Between different factions of people. It's nothing crazy. It's not like,
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, no. It's like you and I evolved.
Yeah.
We created, a different way of space flight, and now we're out there, and there's different, not races in space. I guess there's races in space.
Yeah, different. Yeah.
But it just shows you that even then, the core, the fundamental, the animalistic tendencies that humanity has remain.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Remain.
Absolutely. So people ask Elon Musk, how did you become a rocket expert? I read books. That was his only response, which I found brilliant.
I know.
I said, that is amazing.
We see it, dude, in all kinds of things, right? And I'm not patting myself on the back. Like, my businesses, the ones that I've created. Yeah. I had no idea. You know how many times I got laughed at?
Oh, I'm sure.
You know
you've told me. Yeah, you've told me.
You know how many times I was like, people were telling me that I'm a fucking idiot?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Dude, when we started this podcast.
Yeah. How many people made fun of that?
Yeah. They were like, really?
One of the things that I will tell everybody, we're at the 39th minute of this show, and I want everybody to remember this. The only advice I'll give people, don't ever take anyone's advice unless you're willing to completely change places with that person.
Yep. That's a good way of putting it.
Unless you're 100% willing to switch places with that person, don't listen to their advice.
Yep. That's great advice. I mean, here's the thing. We wouldn't be where we're at if we followed every single person's advice, because we would fail over and over and over and over again.
Right.
That's just the reality of it. And I know we got way off topic, started getting into tangents, but it all kind of
it ties in.
It ties in, right?
Look, the thirst of knowledge.
Yeah, the thirst of knowledge is so
critical thinking.
Exactly. I'm not a conservative or a liberal. I'm just a guy who has a point of view on many social topics. I research, I read, I listen. Then I form my own opinion based on all the facts.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's amazing that there's still, and I'm saying it, facetiously, but it's amazing that there's somebody like you that can actually think.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. Right. Come up with my own opinion and my own decision based on the facts. And here's the thing, as even we know some members of law enforcement, right? You laugh at them at some of the shit they say. You're like, dude, are you serious? You're supposed to be a trained investigator, and you're fucking believing a meme that is completely 100% a lie.
Yeah.
yet you're supposed to be a trained investigator.
Think about this with the memes, right? How many times do you see memes and it's, if you agree, type yes. Or how many times, I know people are going to hear this for the first time, very smart people that we have as listeners, but they're going to hear this for the first time and they're going to be like, oh, fuck. How many times have you seen a meme where you know the information's wrong and you comment?
Yes.
It can be something as simple as 2 + 2 = 5. And you're like, no, I have to tell them that it equals 4.
Yeah.
Think about what you just did.
Yeah.
You're giving these people an engagement. I've fallen for it. You've fallen for it.
Yep.
We're very smart people.
Yep. but here's the thing, right? So when you engage with these bots, right? Click yes, or say yes if you agree with this. It might be a Russian entity bot. It might be Chinese entity. It might be any, So,
or it might be Pete Nyman's business.
Exactly. You just don't know. And again, research. I don't know how many times I got to say this, and that's, and, in my last paragraph, I sum it up, my family's home country of Lebanon is thousands of years old.
Yep.
In America, we made it to the moon. A 300-year-old country beat the rest of the world on many things. Why? Because of our thirst. Exactly what we were just talking about a little earlier. Because of our thirst for knowledge.
The thirst for knowledge, the asking for why.
Yeah.
Right. So look at things like Star Trek, for example. I'm a huge Trekkie. A lot of kids were inspired by the science of Star Trek, got into the field, and have made incredible discoveries.
Oh, yeah.
Like, look at a lot of our iPhones, for example. They came from there. Talking about space travel, the warp drive. All of there's so much that has come from the fantasy land being turned into why or how can we do this? That is turning into reality.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that is the drive.
Yeah.
That is the thirst for knowledge, the epitome of critical thinking.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like, let's bring that back. Let's start asking the hard questions. Why is it so hard to ask why?
Right.
Versus, oh yeah, I agree with that. Even though you have no fucking clue.
Yeah, dude.
What this person, just like Aziz, everyone agreed with him. They were
Power
like
of persuasion.
They were like, oh yeah, we saw that, and to the extent of one of the audience members chiming in and all that.
Somebody probably cried in the fucking audience too. Oh,
I know. I'm never eating a Pizza Hut again, type shit. And he called him out. He's like, you all a bunch of stupid assholes.
Yeah.
Like, it never happened. I just made it up right now while we were sitting here.
I don't know how you are with yours, but I tell my kids to question everything, always. Except your word. I know. I get it.
Well, no, I've said that to my kid, but now he questions me too. Questions my wife, questions everybody.
I love it.
I'm like,
well, I'm not talking about questioning when you tell them to do something.
Well, that's what it turned into.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, you ask me why one more time, I'm going to throw you through a wall. And then he turns around. He's like,
why?
You throw me through a wall, I'll kick you in the balls. I'm like, oh, all right, boy.
Good boy.
I'm like, all right, boy, you want to fight?
Awesome.
Let's do it. And then my wife gets in the middle, like, break it up,
awesome.
you two. I'm like, no, we're going to fight. I'll take my shirt off. He
That's
takes his
awesome.
shirt off. I'm like, let's do it.
That's badass. But that quest for knowledge, the boy wants to fucking learn.
No, he's got quite the thirst for knowledge. He just wants to know. He's like a sponge,
It was a proud dad moment. I took the girls down to a certain part of the state when it was a nice weather out. And the whole ride down, there were no iPads. Mm-hmm. There was no music. Mm-hmm. I asked them 2-3 questions that were very basic science questions. And the entire, I think it was like a 68-minute drive or something like that, an hour-long drive. It was just a conversation about why.
Yeah.
Why this? Yeah. Why that? Why this? Why that? And it was like the proudest moment because I'm like, there's a lot of kiddos out there that you give them a fucking iPad just to shut them up.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That why we have to continue it. You have to get your kids to continue it.
Oh, absolutely. And it's very important because that question why, it ties into our job as law enforcement officers.
Of course it does.
If you don't ask the why, you're not going to know the deep causes of certain social issues in a household. You're not going to, if you just go in there as a bulldozer and start only locking people. I mean, there are times you got to do that, but if there's a moment where you can ask the question, why?
Yep.
Why did you do this? Why did this happen? Why? You will get a much clearer picture, and your reports, affidavits are going to be that much better because you asked the why.
I'll put it out there. Speaking of why, I'll put it out there. If you guys know liberals, because now everybody can tell that I'm a super fucking right-wing conservative, right?
You're an asshole.
I'm an asshole. I want you guys to have a liberal friend of yours reach out to me, and not for the point of arguing. I want to ask them why they're liberal, not so that I can prove my point and make myself feel better about myself. I feel great about myself. I want to talk to them and know why. I want to know their mindset.
Why not?
But please, if anybody's listening, please have them reach out to us. I want to have these conversations. I have liberal friends. One of my best friends is liberal, as far left as humanly possible.
Yeah.
She actually wants to do a podcast with me.
Awesome.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I would talk and argue and then get up and hug. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like I showed you that post on my Facebook page of a guy I deployed with in Iraq. Real nice guy. I respect him a lot, all that. Yeah, he's left, and he posted that question after the article. I posted the article, and I responded. And you know what? I'm not going to hate him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a good dude.
But people need to do, and I'm not saying this about your friend, right? Or you, but people need to grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the end of the world with political views. I get that, and this is why I'm a strong conservative. I get that our ideologies can affect our lives. Yeah. Right?
Yep.
But you're not going to get anywhere by sitting there screaming at each other.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
It's just sad, man. I hope that people do wake up and do start realizing that we're all part of one fucking race.
Yep, pretty much.
Human race.
We all bleed red.
I don't know about you, but I mean, it was a good article, brother. I like it. I like doing this, that I don't read the article until we get to it during the show. All
right.
We're going to keep doing that. Guys, we want to say thank you to our supporters, HavokJournal.com, Gym Junkies, Vector Shield, WellnessForWarriors.live, LiveBoston617.org, Eagle Eye Firearms, MA.com, ODKit.com, GunTrack.app, Houle-Law.com. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Sorry that the video didn't come up. We had some major issues, but you know what? We'll make up for it. Want everybody to stay safe and stay...
Sapient.